Kira Koto, and yes, look, I thought it's Teruya week, so I thought it'd be good to use to try and practice a bit of my Teruya, which is not very good. But look, Te Kapa, the team for the All Blacks, Wallabies, I should say Wallabies versus All Blacks test this Saturday night at the Olympic Stadium or Accor Stadium, as the media should be calling it, in Sydney. It is a and Paul, it's an afternoon kickoff. I keep thinking it's at 9:45 p.m. at night. It's like, whoa, that's a reminder that it is a late afternoon game, which I think is great. It will be great for the Australian, to get the Australian crowd numbers up, because as we know, rugby in Australia is struggling a bit. So anyway, back to the issue for this Saturday afternoon test. So yeah, look, it is not really any surprises. In fact, you've got players returning from injury like Ethan de Groot, Caleb Clark. They're clearly the number one picks for their position, so they slot back into the side. So that is Ethan de Groot, Cody Taylor, Tyrell Lomax in the front row, Scott Barrett, captain, Tupou Vaa'i, who I thought was probably my player of the best All Blacks in that last test in Cape Town. Wallace Atiti retains his number 6 position because Ethan Blackadder hasn't recovered from his injury. Sam Cane is at open side 7. Artie Savia at the back of the scrum. So yeah, no surprises there in the forward pack. You've got Cortez Ratana, who retains his starting position ahead of TJ Perenara, who's on the bench. Damien McKenzie at first 5. Caleb Clark, as I said, Caleb Clark's back after that injury, so he returns, starts at number 11. Jordy Barrett and Rico Ioane partner themselves again in centres. They're, of course, starting to do a Ma'anonu Conrad Smith partnership there in terms of number of tests as midfield partners. And then Will Jordan goes to wing. Like, of course, now there's been a lot of talk, that there was a clamour to get Will Jordan at fullback, and unfortunately, I think that has dialed back in the wake of that test in Cape Town, because I think there were some issues with Will Jordan at fullback in Cape Town. He was kind of found out a little bit, and Beauden Barrett returns to the starting lineup as fullback. So yeah, look, a strong side with impact, and fingers crossed it is really impact. You've got it's as you Asafo Mua. No Asian surprises there. Tamaiti Williams goes onto the bench. No Ofa Tungafasi. You've got Pasilio Tossi, he will get his real shot. Against Australia from the bench. Impact. Sam Derry is the impact lock, you could say. It'll be interesting to see if who he replaces on Saturday. Will it be Wallace Atiti, meaning that Scott Barrett goes to blindside, or will it be, could he replace one of, Scott Barrett or Tupou Vaa'i as a like for like? We shall see what happens there. So Luke Jacobson is on the bench. He's a player I like to see a bit more, replacing Sam Cane, to see whether he can emulate the work rate. I mean, Luke Jacobson's someone who's been biding his time. He's had his issues with injuries, concussions, and all that. But yeah, so it will be interesting to see. TJ Perenara, as I mentioned, is the backup halfback on the bench, there for experience. Anton Leonard-Brown is obviously you've got D-Mac and Beauden Barrett starting, so there's not really a need for another first 5 or a fullback. And you've got Will Jordan as covering the fullback. So Anton Leonard-Brown comes in, and Sevu Reece is the winger on the bench. I think you'd argue, yes, Sevu Reece was a little bit lucky to remain sort of involved in the All Blacks. Still a great dynamic attacking weapon, but there were some issues defensively against South Africa. Look, I mean, admittedly, defense is not quite necessarily his best component of the game, but he's clearly there for his attack. Didn't quite go as planned. but certainly against Australia, he might, perhaps he might get a bit more of a chance to show show a bit more of what he could do. We saw lots of that for the Crusaders. It was easily the most, the best Crusaders this season in what was a very, very tough season for the Red and Blacks. And certainly, on his day could be, is one of the best, wingers the All Blacks have. So, so that is the All Blacks side. I'll just quickly see if the Wallabies. I don't think the Wallabies have named their side yet. So can't really compare. But look, it is certainly a formidable side. I mean, look, the hype is much down compared to Creating the Box, because, I mean, no disrespect to the Wallabies, it's, they're not quite on the same level, and look, I think there is a certain element that, that the All Blacks will be expected to retain the Bledisloe. Of course, 2 tests this year, that means if they win one of them, the Bledisloe stays in New Zealand. So if the All Black, I think, so certainly the Wallabies have to win this game in order to have any chance. From secretly, as an All Blacks fan, as a rugby fan, I guess I should say, you'd like to see Australia win this one so that the All Blacks can, the All Blacks go to Wellington and then they have to win that one. It means the Bledisloe is still on the line. It kind of gives it a bit of a chance, because otherwise, if the All Blacks win this, the game in Wellington really has. The game in Wellington is effectively a dead rubber. And I know there's no such thing as dead rubbers in Test rugby, but that's really what it is. So we shall see. I think perhaps that's why there might be a little bit of a delay with the Wallabies side being there. I'm anticipating that should be done pretty soon, given the game, of course, kicks off 3:45 p.m. Sydney time, 5:45 p.m. New Zealand time. So just a reminder there, it is not your typical 9:45 p.m. kickoff as it has been in many years, and I think that would be absolutely brilliant. But what are your thoughts on this teacup or All Blacks? Is it, and what do you? I personally think that I know that it was a brutal series against South Africa, but there were certainly a lot of positives for the All Blacks, and I think that is going. With that bye, I think that is sort of like a build up in the All Blacks camp with Razor, the coaches, the players that. The result, they lost the test, but I think there is a sense that, there is a lot out there to prove, and I think, unfortunately, the Wallabies could be up for a bit of a mauling in these two, at least certainly in this test. So, yeah, we shall see. But, yeah, look, your thoughts there. If you like this video, feel to like, and don't forget to subscribe.